Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to install the MBRP DPF back exhaust on this 2017 Ford F-250 with a 6.7 liter Power Stroke engine. Let's go ahead and get started. Now we're on the passenger rear side of the vehicle. We have our tire off so you can better see our exhaust system here. And the first thing that we need to do is spray our 6 nuts, the 3 that are holding our tailpipe to our extension pipe, and the pieces that are holding on our extension pipe down here, these 3 nuts as well. We need to spray those with penetrating oil. And that's just going to loosen everything up for us so that it'll be easier to take it off. We're also going to spray our hangers with some WD-40. Again, that's just going to loosen them up and make it easier for us to remove our pipes off of our factory hangers. And we're also going to spray our rear hanger, which is going to be by our spare tire, with some WD-40. Next, we need to locate our EGT sensor. That's going to be on our tailpipe at the top bend, and we need to remove that. We're going to use a 24mm right on the nut. Break that loose. And once it's loose, you should be able to just twist it out by hand and pull it out and just set it out of the way. Next, we need to remove the 3 nuts holding our tailpipe to our extension pipe. Those are going to be 15mm. And they should be fairly easy to take off since we sprayed some penetrating oil and let it sit for a little while. The last one is going to be on the back side. You might not be able to see it very well. Now that we have those nuts off, we can start to separate our tailpipe from our extension pipe and separate it from the hangers, and then we can remove it from the vehicle. Now we're at the back of the tailpipe at our back hanger, and what I'm going to do is pry this hanger out. Now I also have a floor jack underneath the end of our tailpipe just to catch it, because we also have to remove the front hangers as well. So I'm just going to pull that out and down like that, so it's loose, and then I'll go ahead and remove the front hangers and we can take the tailpipe off. Now we're up at our 2 front hangers, and we're just going to use a pry bar to pry our isolator off. And then you're going to pull the tailpipe out from the back. Next, we're going to remove the 3 15mm nuts holding on our extension pipe. Now we're going to reuse these nuts. You want to make sure you keep track of them. And we can remove our extension pipe. Now you want to make sure that you keep the gasket on, because we're going to reuse that as well. Now we have our new MBRP extension pipe on the table, and depending on the cab and bed size of our truck, we might have to trim this. Now if you have the crew cab, full box, 8-foot bed, you don't have to trim this pipe at all and you're good to go. Now if you have anything other than that, you are going to have to trim this pipe. So our truck has the crew cab, but it has the shorter 6-foot bed. So we need to trim this up to 16¼ inches off of the end of our pipe. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out. Make our cutting mark. And then we can go ahead and get this thing cut and carry on with our installation. Now we're going to use a bandsaw to make our cut. Now if you don't have one of these, you can use a Sawzall, whatever you have, whatever you're most comfortable with. Just try to make it as straight as possible, and then just make sure you kind of clean it up when you're done. Now with our factory gasket still in place, we're going to install our new extension pipe. And we're going to use our factory nuts. Now we're just going to leave these loose for right now. And then once everything is assembled, then we can start tightening everything. Next we're going to reinstall our factory isolators onto our hangers on the truck. We can just push those back on. Again, you might need some lubricant. But you should just be able to wiggle them back on, like that. Next, I'm going to take one of our provided clamps, slide that over our extension pipe, and then I'm going to take our over axle pipe, feed it up and over our axle, and then slide it over our extension pipe and into the hangers. Make sure you slide it as far forward as possible, and slide our clamp back to the connecting point between our over axle pipe and our extension pipe, and we're just going to again leave that loose for right now. Next we're going to take our last clamp, fit it over our tailpipe, just like that, and then we're going to fit our tailpipe over the other pipe, lift it up, and then slide it into our factory isolator. Just like that. Now our exhaust tip is going to fit over our tailpipe. We're just going to shove that on. Make sure it's pushed all the way as far back as it'll go. And again, we're just going to leave that loose for right now. Next, we're going to install our EGT sensor to our over axle pipe. And that should thread in. And then we can use our 24mm wrench to tighten it down. Now, starting at the front of our system, we're going to go ahead and start tightening everything down, making sure that it is fully pushed forward and aligned as we go down. Now we're going to use a 15mm to tighten down the nuts holding our extension pipe to the DPF. And our last nut again is on the opposite side. Might be difficult to see. Next, we're going to take our over axle pipe and try to slide that down to make sure it's fully over our extension pipe. And then we can use our 15mm socket to tighten down our clamp. Next, we're going to do the same thing with our tailpipe. We're going to push it forward to make sure it is fully mated to the over axle pipe, and then we're going to take our clamp, put that at the end of our tailpipe, and use our 15mm to tighten that down. And last, we can align our exhaust tip, make sure the MBRP logo is faced out so it's fully visible. And then we can use an 8mm Allen to tighten that down. Okay guys, that's going to complete the installation. Now after about 50 miles, you want to go back underneath, make sure everything is still tight, and then check it periodically after that. If you have any questions, give us a call or visit us online.